Welcome to the exciting world of learning. See, under the topic of electrostatic, we have studied the Coulomb's law of electrostatic force, and we saw the vector form of Coulomb's law also. And what will happen if we have a multiple charges, means we have a more than two charges. So we will understand by this one example. Okay, if you have a more than two charges, means 3 4 5 or some finite number of charges, then what will happen? See, each of the charge particle will exert force on other charge particles. Okay, and when we find the force on a particular charge particle, so it will be the vector sum of all the forces. This is called the law of superposition. See, we will see by one example. Suppose we have a three charge particles. We have a three charge particle q1, q2 and q3. Suppose q1, q2 and q3. Suppose there is a origin. Here is the origin, and the position vector of q1 is suppose r1. From here, its position vector is suppose r1. The position vector of q2 is suppose r2, and similarly the position vector of suppose this is r3. So let's see, we have a 3-point charges, position vector r1, r2 and r3. Suppose here is a point A, here is a point B, here is a point C. Suppose we want to calculate the force on q2. So we have these two charges, q1 will either attract or repel q2. Similarly, the q3 will either attract or repel q2. So the force on q2 due to q1, the force on q2 due to q1. So we shall find the distance between these two. Okay, and when we represent as a vector, so this will be the force. See, naming F21. Okay, so that we will, according to the Coulomb's law, F21 will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, the product of these two charges q1 q2 divided by this distance. Okay, suppose this is r12 and it is a square, and this is a unit vector of r12. Clear? Similarly, when we find the force on q2 by q3, so we will get force on this F23, suppose its name, and 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So we have a q2 q3, and the distance between these two, BC distance, suppose it is this vector, suppose it is r32. Its square we shall get, and r32 unit vector. So just see, at this point we have two vectors, F21 and F23. So what we have to do? See, we have to apply the concept of vector sum that we studied in class 11. Just let me remind you, if you have two vectors, suppose one is a P, another is a Q, the angle between these two is suppose theta. So we can get the resultant of these two vectors, the law of parallelogram. According to this, the magnitude of the resultant, what is the resultant? Its magnitude that can be expressed, the P square, the Q square plus 2PQ cos of theta. And what is the direction that we can expressing the direction from suppose P. So tangent of alpha means the resultant makes an angle alpha with a vector P. It can be written as tan of alpha equal to Q sin theta divided by P plus Q cos of theta, and hence we can express the alpha is equal to tan inverse of this whole thing Q sin theta P plus Q cos theta. Clear? Similarly, here also we need to find the resultant. Here, so suppose F is the force on this 2, and what is the direction for this? Simply we can write according to the principle of superposition. The force on charge Q2, suppose it is F, it will be the vector sum of all the forces acting on this. Clear? So this we can write 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R21 square plus R21 vector plus 1 upon this take common, so Q2 Q3 divided by R32 square and R32 vector. So this is the force. This is the, in writing it looks very simple, but when you calculate, so you have to apply this formula. Suppose you need to calculate the vector sum F, okay, its magnitude, you have to write the magnitude of this force is simply the sum of these two forces, means F21 square F23 square plus twice of F21 F23 and the angle between these two. This is the magnitude. Clear? So we shall take one example. 3-point charges are kept at the vertices of a triangle, equilateral triangle. Okay, the side is A and this is A, B, C. Here the 3-point charges are kept Q, all are equal magnitude Q, Q, Q. Okay, so you have to calculate the force on a charge at B, okay, or you have to calculate the force. You have to calculate the force on the charge at Q, charge Q at C. Okay, so first we will calculate the force on charge at C due to charge at A. This will be suppose F1. So we can get F1 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by A square. Okay, and it is direction I am writing here along AC. Similarly, force on charge at C due to charge at P. Suppose it is F2. That will be along BC. This will be these two forces F1 and F2. Okay, since the all things are equal, so we can write F1 equal to F2, say F. Suppose both are equal, so we can write suppose it is F. Here, and just you can understand by geometry, simple geometry, you know, if we have a right angle triangle, all these angles are 60, so this angle will also be 60 degree. So using this formula we can find the resultant. Okay, resultant force here, this will be suppose Fr. Resultant Fr we can get f1 square f2 square plus twice of f1 f2 cos angle between them. So here all are equal. F1 is suppose f, f2 is suppose f, ff, and the angle you know cos of 60 degree. So you know the value of cos 60, it is 1 by 2. So here we will get root 3 times of f. So that is the resultant force at the charged particle at C. Here, so that value you can get 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q square by a square. And what is the direction? Since it is equal, so it will be exactly middle of that. Okay, it make a 30 degree, 30 here, 30 here. Okay, that is the angle along the angle bisector. Clear? Along angle bisector. Clear? So this is the way to solve the force due to multiple charge. You have to apply this formula. So you just practice some of the questions. Clear? Then in the next video we will study one of the most important concept, electrostatic field. Okay, that means till now all the best.